Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly guest podcast. My name is Edward Daniel. It's a pleasure to be here again today. Thank you for taking time out to listen on this week's podcast. I have the pleasure of introducing you to Mark Baxter. Mark Baxter is business facilitator at Local24Seven. Welcome, Mark. How are you?
Very well, thanks, Edward.
Now,
Thanks for having us.
now then, you are business facilitator at Local24Seven. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you provide and the services that you offer?
Well, yes, Edward, we offer a free online service to businesses and to other organisations such as schools, clubs, members of the public as well, buyers, business support organisations, social enterprises, etc. We're trying to help them work more efficiently with their customers, suppliers and partners. It's true that when they join Local 24/7, they're joining a network where they can find the usual network tools, communicate with new customers and suppliers, get quotes, find new work opportunities to quote for, promote themselves, their products, their services, and pre-qualify in some cases where relevant for commercial work. But all the things you'd normally expect in a trading network, but there's a key difference. Local 24/7 gives everyone a suite of innovative tools or building blocks to manage their own private network of contacts. And they can host their own invitation-only discussions on any relevant topic, manage lists of suppliers and customers, and work with them online. It's effectively a suite of building blocks that we look for businesses to use creatively to help themselves. So whilst we're aiming to build a network, at the same time, it's more of a network of networks, if that makes sense.
So why is it so important to Local 24/7 clients to create and manage their own customer, supplier and support networks? What are the benefits of this to their business?
Well, we all make business contacts in several ways. Whether we get referrals, we might meet people at events socially, we might meet them online through social media like LinkedIn, for example. But the whole point of doing that is to turn the contacts into actual business. And we can do this more efficiently to keep our contacts or our contact and communication with those contacts relevant. Quite often in social media, for example, we spend a lot of time dancing around subject, but everybody that we meet, we have a particular business objective in mind, whether they're a customer, supplier, a collaborator, or whatever. So effectively, we provide a segmented CRM or SRM system with tools to support it. For example, one group of contacts might be interested in a particular product or a project or a service, and you want to interact with them about that particular thing. Let's say it's a lawnmower, you're selling lawnmowers, it doesn't matter what it is. But on Local 24/7, you can create a group specific to that product, service or project, host relevant discussions for that group only, send newsletters to that group only, receive quote requests, exchange information. All the new contacts interested in the lawnmower, whatever it happens to be, can be added to this group and instantly see all the information that's already been published and the questions that have already been asked. So in effect, it automatically builds FAQs and product and service information. Alternatively, there might be a group of suppliers for a product or service. So therefore, you can use this group, contact them, discuss the particular product or service with them, host discussions about that particular thing. So you can have as many one-to-one or one-to-many contacts as you wish. But it's a good place to bring in to understand the relationship that you want with your contacts and make the communication with them relevant on a one-to-one or one-to-many basis.
Now, you provide clients with free, strong and secure communication and online trading facilities to support the networks they create. I know that Local 24/7 is non-profit.
Yeah.
How do you source the funds required to sustain your services?
Well, we provide a suite of free business tools, or as I say, the building blocks for a business. They're quite complex and sophisticated. we're a non-profit organisation. We've funded it primarily to help boost local economies. But we hope that when we grow, we'll get sponsors, and that some income will come in from network buyers who want to use the advanced tools on the system to manage their supply chains and recruit new suppliers. Currently, business support organisations who help the businesses in our networks can make an optional contribution, but it's not a hard and fast income stream. Really, as a non-profit business, we're what you might call altruistic. We put these tools out there for people to use, and if they want to take advantage of them, then they can do.
Now, you say you're altruistic. Where's that born from then? What was the idea to be non-for-profit?
Well, I mean, we've been supporting, personally, I've been involved in supporting businesses for over 30 years, in one form or another. And the reason really is that, first of all, I believe that all businesses have the potential for growth and expansion and improvement. And I guess that traditional support mechanisms and networks put financial barriers and other barriers in the way of them joining. And I think my approach really is the other way around. Let everybody join in. Let everybody select who they want to work with. Let everybody see where the goalposts are. And if a business wants to, I don't know, make an improvement, if they want to work, for example, in the supply chain, commercial supply chain, they may require accreditations, etc. And it's up to the business whether they wish to do that. By having the business support organisations that can help them get there in place, it makes it a level playing field. Everybody can try to improve or not. It's up to them. But the whole point is to empower local businesses to do what they want to improve where they can, and not put any barriers in the way.
Now, what are the types of businesses that Local24Seven assists with? Also, what are the types of barriers these businesses may come against?
Yeah, well, that's a very complex question. I mean, the tools that we provide are designed with a great deal of flexibility, and it's up to the creativity and of the business owner to use them in the way that's appropriate to their business. So the barriers and the problems that businesses face are many, but each business faces its own issues, and what we provide are the tools for them to address it. So it's in practice, it's open to, if you look at our current membership, or current networks within networks that we have a whole vast range of businesses of all sizes in all sectors, and each face different problems, but they're using the tools and the building blocks in different ways to resolve them. So I guess the answer to your question is that any business can benefit from it by using the tools in the way that's relevant to them.
Now, members can create their own bespoke private networks accessible by invitation, which allows your members to direct the discussion.
Yeah.
What are the types of services involved in creating such a network?
Well, okay, to build a network, I mean, there are two key elements. There are your existing contacts and contacts that you can meet through the system, or those that you meet in the future from whatever source. Amongst the tools that we provide, there's an invitation service that members can invite existing contacts, first of all, and when those that accept the invitation that you send to them, they're automatically added to the inviters' master contact list, from where they can then move them into appropriate lists or lists for use in the other tools, which are getting quotes, hosting discussions, etc., etc. There's also a Find a Business function, which is every business that registers with the network has a virtual shop window, and the businesses determine who they can see and who can see them, who can see their shop window. Shop window includes contact details, products and service information, and where relevant, accreditation information. So through that system, through the search, new contacts can be found and invited to build the network further. There's some other tools that are relevant to building the network. The networks are divided into county-sized groups throughout the UK. But if a business trades in a broader area than their home network, they can use the join other networks in the family function to engage customers and suppliers further afield. And then for national organisations such as business support organisations or larger buyers who work nationally or throughout the UK, they can contact us and we can create a presence for them wherever they wish.
Now, as members see their business grows, what are the ways that they expand their network and increase their presence?
Yeah, I mean, I think I partially answered that. The way to do this is obviously look at the area that is the natural trading area for each business, and as I mentioned, there are ways of creating a presence in each area. And you can expand the scope of your visibility, as it were, through the network, as mentioned. But there are ways in which, you can use the tools to increase the business that you or the contacts that you make, by the way that you maintain your profile, the way that the invitations that you send out for the types of discussions you host. It's a matter of understanding your market, if it's customers that you're looking at, or understanding your suppliers, and making your content and discussions that you host relevant to you and to them and the relationship that you have or want to have with them.
Now, Local24Seven made the conscious decision not to have a registration charge for its individual members, but to depend on sponsorship, allowing small businesses to focus their money on investing it into their own businesses. Can you share with us one of the client's success stories, which was aided by Local24Seven's support?
Well, we're very early days, and we've only just really started promoting the system. Although it's been online almost as a beta site since 2012, but recently we've started to grow the system, so it's a little early for us to get the amount of feedback that we're required to say. We have obviously people contacting us, thanking us for using the system, but it's again for them as users. It needs time for them to be able to grow their business, to grow their network, to get some really strong, tangible results. So we're hoping for that in the future, but as mentioned, it's early days yet.
Now, since setting up Local24Seven, has it grown or seen a growth? And what are the type of people likely to use the network?
Well, yes, it's grown. Currently they're not huge, but there are around 250 private networks on the system. However, they're spread out quite thinly across the UK. In terms of the types of business, they're very diverse. In terms of all sorts of sectors, company sizes, and geographies. What was interesting though is that businesses have been using the facility to engage other sectors, and there's quite a high demand for cross-sectoral work. I guess all businesses, if you think about it, all businesses need, for example, office stationery or insurance, which cuts across all sectors. But there are other cross-sectoral examples are emerging. Businesses can select, as I mentioned when you go on there, who else can see them by sector, subsector, geography, and who they can see. And it's surprising. It kind of questions the traditional sector-based networking model, because it seems that although it's the early stages, a lot of businesses seem to want to work out with their own sector.
Now, have clients who have put more investment into their profiles found greater success, or is success driven more by the quote generator? Do you think in the current economy that prospective clients are driven more by price than possibly the quality of service?
Oh, right, okay. Well, I'll come to the second part of that second, because it's a classic question. The first part was about the profiles. At the moment, the focus, because we're quite new, the businesses that have joined us are focusing on their own networks. They're looking at managing their existing contacts. It's been the primary focus within the system. But obviously, shop windows, the virtual shop window that business creates, will play a bigger role as more businesses join the network, because, as mentioned, they select who they're visible to. And businesses don't really know who's looking at their shop window other than by the definitions that they put themselves. And therefore, they don't know what opportunities are missing. So maintaining a strong profile is very important, but I think it will play a bigger role in the future. As regards price versus quality and buyer decision making, I don't know. I mean, I'd be reticent to say that the current economic climate drives price buying although obviously there's a push towards that, but there are many variables in a buying decision: availability, supplier reputation, and I think the strongest one of all is the relationship that a buyer and supplier have. So our focus has been really on creating a place where a business can bring all their contacts in, define the relationship they have, and then have relevant communication with them to strengthen the relationship. It's what happens after you meet a contact. I mean, I, for example, meet quite a lot of people on a medium like LinkedIn, for example, but transferring that initial contact into a discussion about a particular product, service, or project or collaboration goes offline, and I may have a group of people who may be contacts who may be interested in the same project, so I can host discussions about a particular project, and somebody who joins that network or invites to join my group will automatically be able to see all the questions that have been asked previously, effectively an FAQ that builds itself, and all exchange product information, and they can see it all, rather than repeat that exercise again and again and again every time we make contact. So it's a business efficiency issue.
Now, what has been your best recommendation to date, and it helps you generate more interest in your business then?
Well, I mean, every time that somebody sets up a network, that creates a private network, more people can see how it works. Obviously, it's quite complex stuff, easy to use, but the functionality is quite complex. And so really every new customer is a recommendation for us. Every time that somebody sets up a network, they're inviting other people to see what can be done. And so I wouldn't pick a particular one.
And who are the types of clients you would like to meet then?
Well, imaginative and innovative ones. People who are creative. As I say, we provide, imagine a Lego set, we provide all the building blocks and some examples of how they can be used to create something new for the business. But because every business is different, what they build with those is different also. So what interests me is because they're flexible tools that could be used to meet the needs of all businesses, I'm quite interested in, or especially interested in, the creative ways that businesses use them to keep their messages relevant and personal.
So has your network grown organically then? How have you been able to get the message out?
Well, we've launched the site, as I say, last year, but in a sort of beta format, and spent the time, making continuous improvements on it, and as we discover new ways of people using it, we're facilitating it. So we're facilitating things so that it's got better and better and better, and continues to grow. And obviously, the more people that join, the more people, the more innovation will appear in the system. It's great.
Brilliant. So what does the future hold for you and Local24Seven?
Well, I honestly don't know. I mean, as I said, we've been supporting business for about 30 years in one way or another, and I'm happy to make the service available. It's really up to businesses to use it, and to use it creatively and imaginatively. If enough businesses get involved, we really could go places. We could make a positive impact on the economy, and particularly on local economies. We're happy to fund it for now, and we'll always be free as long as we can keep it going. But eventually, we'll need sponsors and network buyers, and they, of course, will be interested in supporting the system when enough businesses have joined.
Lastly, Mark, what piece of advice would you give to someone starting out in business?
Oh gosh. Well, I would say that the key things about if you're planning to start a business, first key points are be objective. People tend to go into business because they like doing something in particular, and they may have one particular skill set, and quite often they can't see the range, the full gamut of skills required to run a business. I would say, in terms of process, make a comprehensive business plan before you invest loads of money into it, and then attempt to dismantle it. Do the market research, check every aspect of the plan, check the finances, the operations, the HR requirement, the people that you need, the skills that you need, the suppliers. Just check everything, and then redo the business plan. The process of planning the business is almost as important as the end product. And then that said, it's not really an end product, because when you have a business plan, I would recommend obviously using Local24Seven to marshal the contacts in a relevant way, and then use the tools to continually inform the business plan, which should be an active document and should guide you as you go forward. Because the more information you learn about your customers and suppliers, the better relationship you can build with them, and the better you can plan for the stability of your business.
Thank you, Mark. So it's all from me, Edward Daniel, and all from Mark Baxter.
Well, thanks very much. All the best.
Thank you. Have a terrific week.